I'm here in Liverpool at the Airmic conference, and I'm delighted to be joined by Steve Watson from RSA. Steve, welcome.
Thank you very much, Anne.
The insurance market is seeing hardening rates and hardening covers and stricter covers. How do you see this playing out over the next year or 12 months?
Well, I think it's probably worth remembering that the last few years of hardening rates have really come off the back of many more years of what have been really soft conditions. I think if you look at the rate adequacy across a number of portfolios today, they probably still aren't at the levels they were even a decade ago. So no one likes to see prices rising. I get that it's really difficult for our customers. I do think, though, there are some very good reasons as to why some of those rates, some of those covers had to move in the direction that they have done. I think in terms of an outlook, I still think there are many headwinds that face us. I think claims inflation still is the big worry personally for me. I think we're seeing inflation kind of approaching double-digit levels now, which we would never have seen previously in certainly the last 20 years or so. So I think that is a major headwind. I think some of the uncertainty that we're seeing out there in the macroeconomic environment as well is playing into that as well. So I still think there are a number of things that are going to conspire to at least keep rates at levels that you see them now. Where I do hope we do see some improvement, however, is as we move through the next 12 months, where you have really good quality, well risk managed cases coming to market, that they actually do get sensible consideration from insurers. I still think, though, that where you've got risks that have a poor claims history, have significant need for improvement in risk management, I do still think that the market out there will still have to reflect that in the capacity that it provides and the pricing that it offers.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, sustainability and ESG remain very high on risk managers' agendas. What is RSA doing to support them through that?
So that's actually a really timely question. We're just at the moment realigning our approach to ESG with that of our parent company, Intact Financial Corporation. Intact look at ESG in two ways: climate change itself, and then the impact on communities. There are four main pillars to the Intact strategy. The first being net zero, and that's net zero from the perspective of us as an organisation. There's more to follow on that. The organisation will be releasing some statements next month on the more specific plans it has in place to look to reduce its carbon footprint and achieve net zero over the coming couple of decades. The second key pillar of the strategy is helping communities become more resilient to the effects of climate change. And I think one of the key ways we as RSA can support in that is using our own data and our own expertise to actually help identify those communities that are going to be at the most vulnerable to the extreme impacts of climate change. The third pillar is how we support and shape customer behaviour in this area, and I think again RSA is well positioned there, given we have a very strong focus on customers. We enjoy some very strong relationships with customers, and I think customers are going to be key inputs, obviously, into how we support that strand. And then lastly, the last strand, it's all about de-risking both existing and new industries that are really critical to transition. And actually, we already have some really strong credentials in that area. We enjoy really strong expertise in our power and renewables portfolios. We support a lot of customers already that operate conventional power assets, and actually we support them because we know that they've got some really robust plans in place around transition, and we're actually part of the conversation with them in terms of how they can improve that transition.
Okay, thank you. I mean, when you look at corporate risk profiles in general, they're getting increasingly complex. I mean, what does the market need to do to make sure it retains and it remains relevant?
Well, I think corporate risk profiles have always evolved. I think they've always been inherently complex. I do accept that the world doesn't get any simpler, but I think the industry thrives on that complexity, and I think those insurers that put customers right at the heart of what they do are the ones that really, are going to be the winners here. We as RSA are well positioned there. We have dedicated customer and underwriting teams that are focused solely on getting close to our customers, really understanding those risk profiles. Most importantly, understanding what's ahead more than actually what's already happened. I think that's really important, and ensuring that we put those customers at the forefront of all the decisions we make. We're also with our parent company Intact looking at investments in be it technology or investments in data that are going to help to improve our understanding of risk profiles, and that ultimately will benefit our customers as well, because clearly we're going to be passing that knowledge on. But I think at the heart of it is really just having that deep understanding and that richness of relationship with customers to get really close to them and understand exactly what is needed to support them.
Okay, thank you very much, and some real food for thought there, and do have a nice conference. Thank you.
Thanks very much.